All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Paul Harrell program here on this Monday. Text message that we got here from a listener says we have to look for those places where we don't have to pay more because those people at the Marble Palace are killing us on the rest of the taxes. The Marble Palace needs to learn to do more with less. Joining us now, we have the host of the radio program, The View from Hillsdale graduate, Richard Castor. Richard, welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Paul. It's so great to be here. Thanks for having me on.
I look forward to this every week, my friend, because you are articulate and you make great points. And what do you think? What do you think about this? The more and more revenue that they keep trying to take from us. I mean, I know we talked about this last week as well, but it just never fails. Everything from the internet tax to now they want to raise taxes on gasoline 6.5%. What are your thoughts?
Oh, it's crazy. I just heard on the radio this past month, the trucking industry, so the people who are truck drivers, that industry hired the most people, over 10,000 people that it's hired, I think in the past 10 years. It's had the best month of new hires. And that's because our economy is starting to grow, and gasoline has gone down with Donald Trump helping the XL pipeline get finished.
Yep.
The futures market, oil, is going down, which makes our prices today go down. And that's a great thing for our economy. When you talk to the average mom and dad down the street, that extra revenue they have in their pockets when they don't have to give it to the gas station, that is really helpful to the single moms or the single dads or just the average family down the street. And so I don't know where these Republicans are coming from when they talk about raising taxes like this. And I think the listener you just quoted is exactly right. A conservative government is one that learns to live within its means, right? It's one that doesn't search to raise taxes, to give more things away, to raise revenue, and to have more programs like this.
Yeah.
This isn't what we do as a party. We focus on figuring out how to lower taxes, ease the burden on our families in this state, on our young people that we want to move here and start businesses here. We shouldn't be trying to make it harder on them, and that's all that tax would do. And you can say, oh, it's just a few cents, but that adds up. And why should the government even be doing that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Hey, Richard, do me a favor, real quick. If you can hang up and call back, because we get most of what you're saying, and then it just kind of drops off for a little bit. So just real quick, hang up, call us right back, and we're going to get a better connection so we can continue with Richard Castor. And so sorry about that. He makes some great points. Essentially, the main one that I liked the best, which was what are Republicans thinking? You know what I mean? Like what are they thinking doing all of this, all these taxes? It's ridiculous. Richard, do we have you back?
Yes, sir. Does it sound better?
Yeah, it does. You sounded just like you do now, but then it would just kind of cut out. And anyway, I just think we had a bad connection.
Sorry about that.
Hey, no big deal. Are you guys okay? I mean, where I'm over here in Northeast Arkansas, we got some some snow, but you guys kind of had like tornadoes, and then you had snow. It was kind of weird, right? Am I wrong there?
No, you're right. Just this week, we had my closet ready to get into because we had a tornado warning that hit both Shoals, if you know where that is,
yes,
here in Baxter County. But luckily, nothing touched down. It was just circulation on the radar. And then woke up this morning, we had another inch of snow on the ground. So it's a little bit crazy weather, but that's okay.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is Arkansas weather. I mean, I think we had 4 inches where I was. And, you look up, it's March 11th, and you're thinking, wow, I guess that groundhog really was right when it came to the 6 more weeks of winter thing, even though it's been like 60 degrees. So...
I know. We had a beautiful spring until this week.
So Richard, I want to continue this conversation about what's going on here in Arkansas government. I was just playing these clips of some of the promises from the last campaign season from Governor Asa Hutchinson. One of them had to do with Obamacare and him saying on the campaign trail, in these ads that were being played, hey, I'm against Obamacare. I'm opposed to Obamacare. I'm opposed to federal overreach and things like that. Well, now we've got this new proposal from Washington, D.C. to repeal and replace Obamacare. And look, I think we talked about this last week, and we were very skeptical that we didn't think conservatives were getting a fair share. I hope Donald Trump really is negotiating this. It doesn't seem that Paul Ryan is open to negotiate. I hope it gets more conservative. I hope we're able to do more things. But there's clearly a divide. The Republican Party says, hey, this is our only way. This is our only shot. Do it the Paul Ryan way. Conservatives are saying no. You have the Freedom Caucus saying no. I interviewed Rick Crawford on Friday. He said, he's weary about what they're currently doing, basically saying that he said they're hiding behind reconciliation, that we could be doing more. I was really pleased to hear him say that. But then Governor Asa Hutchinson came out and he said that the current proposal, quote, is inadequate from an Arkansas standpoint. It shifts too much of the cost to the state for health care. It will not fully cover all those that we are covering now. It does not give states the flexibility that we'd like to have. And I think, wow, there's now a third contender, Richard. There's somebody that's to the left of Paul Ryan, and it sounds to me like, is kind of upset that the Medicaid expansion is, eventually not going to have the funds that it has today. What are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. When they were pushing this private option back in the day down in Little Rock, and they said, we're gonna expand Medicaid, but it won't be too much, and the feds are gonna help fund it. It won't get stuck on the state rolls. It'll all be okay. You were the loudest voice in Arkansas, and we were all here backing you up, saying this is not right, because when we finally win this fight, when we get the right people in Washington, D.C., and we repeal Obamacare, like we all want to do, the state's going to be stuck with these new people on our Medicaid rolls. And you said it. It was very blunt, but I think you said it great about 10 minutes ago. These are people who don't deserve to be on Medicaid, right? These are people who can work, who can pay for it if we have a marketplace that allows them to do that. But Obamacare was designed to be the exact opposite. It was designed to incentivize people to get on the Medicaid rolls, which is why we spent so many millions of dollars here in Little Rock literally advertising that people should sign up and get on these rolls on Medicaid, because that's how that system works. And our governor was happy to be a cheerleader for that, happy to be the voice who is forcing people in our state legislature to vote for Obamacare in Arkansas. So now we're faced with the reality that we warned about what's going to happen when the feds come in and say, we're not going to pay for this expansion anymore. And the liberals down in Little Rock said, oh, that day will never come. Well, that day's here. And whether or not we like it, we can discuss the plan, whether we're going to go with a more Paul Ryan or a Rand Paul point of view on the plan. I see merits in both of it, if Paul Ryan's being honest, which only time will tell on that one. But now we have to live with this scenario in Arkansas. And what politicians do is they'll kick the bucket down the road. Governor Hutchinson is going to try to do his best to whitewash history, where he should be taking responsibility for getting us in this mess in Arkansas. Instead, he's going to put the onus on Washington, D.C., on our conservatives now in the White House and in our U.S. legislature, saying, what are you going to do to our people? You promised us this, we promised it to them, and now we're going to be stuck. Well, if Governor Hutchinson was the conservative he campaigned as in those clips you were playing, he'd be happy to have the conversation with Arkansas saying, we are going to promote individual liberty here in our state. We're going to do everything we can in Arkansas to promote deregulation of the marketplace, to promote these free market principles, and bring down the cost of insurance for the average working class member of our state, so that everyone can afford to be insured by their own hard work. And that is the argument right now that's coming out of the White House. And it's an argument that Republicans fail to make far too often. And it's that the free market can work. Trump's not that eloquent, but today I was listening to him, and he said, listen, 5 years from now, if we open up this marketplace and we let people buy health care across state lines, you're going to see plans that we can't even think up today, because that's how a free market works. And that's true. That's the basic Austrian economic point of view, is that we don't know the future. We're not smart enough to understand what a free market can do, smarter than all of us to buy. And so he's making that argument. And it's so sad to see that here in Arkansas, we have a governor that's standing to the left of Paul Ryan.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
Yeah, my friend Donnie Copeland down at the Capitol's former state representative, he calls him the Mitt Romney of the South. I mean, that does feel pretty accurate.
I think that's exactly accurate. But, it's up to us getting involved and really putting the pressure on our state legislatures to say, no, we are going to support you if you get more people off of Medicaid in Arkansas. We're going to back you up on that, because that's what it's going to come down to here in this state, is there's going to be a outcry from the liberal feel-good left saying, how dare you not give these people this insurance you promised them. But we have to be here. We have to be active, and our voices have to be heard to our state legislators, that we're going to support them when they have to make that hard decision. Because this isn't these, and we talk about principles a lot, right, in the conservative movement, and that basic principle that healthcare is not a right. Healthcare is a great privilege we have in this country, and it should be accessible. And but it's not the government's job to give it away like candy. I remember before Senator Jason Rapert turned into a big proponent of Obamacare in Arkansas, he said, if we do this, Arkansas will become a candy land of welfare, because we'll have people from Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee coming into Arkansas to claim our benefits. Well, then he changed his mind on that. But originally he was right. And we've seen that with these Medicaid rolls just growing and growing in this program, costing millions and millions of dollars more than what it was projected to cost. And so we have to be there for our conservative friends in the legislature, saying we're going to back you up, because these are going to be some tough choices they have to make here in the future.
No, you're exactly right. I mean, I'm worried. I think one of the plans says, hey, we're going to end this in 2020 or something like that. But you talk about kicking the can down the road, Richard, and I'm thinking, well, they always talked about those Cadillac taxes. The taxes. They always push it out, and then they eventually find a way to not make it happen. And I'm sure there's big government people that want it to be, several years down the road. And there obviously would have to be some sort of wind down phase. I don't deny that. But what we are seeing here is the sacred cow develop out of Medicaid expansion, this idea that healthcare is a right if you are able to work. If you're not, we're not talking about the truly needy. We're not talking about the disabled. We're talking about those who are able to work, and many of them are not working. And, that's the focus. You talk about a free market. I mean, we could certainly apply that, Richard, to jobs. I mean, instead of trying to give these people free health care and making them dependent on the government, let's maybe try to, tax the business owners and the job creators less, regulate them less, so that maybe they can hire from this workforce that's not doing anything.
Absolutely. We're living in such a blessed day and age where our medical industries are so advanced and so accessible that this is not a problem that we would have had 100 years ago. My family, we have insurance. My family pays for private insurance, and I have it through my employer. But sometimes, just out of convenience, we'll walk into Walmart, to the little Walmart health clinic, and pay the $25 cover charge to walk in there and go get a Z-Pack, just because it's so convenient, right? And so the marketplace can answer so many of these questions. So we have these little health clinics popping up now, because they can be profitable and they can be lower priced, and you don't even have to have insurance to pay that bill for the shot or the prescriptions that you need. But then when you open up these state markets to other people and you remove the monopoly that like Blue Cross Blue Shield would have in Arkansas, you remove that and let us start to compete. It's much like right before Obamacare came to be, an insurance company called Mercy Insurance moved into the state. They're based out of Springfield, Missouri, believe it or not. And I got insurance for $50 a month. It was a high deductible, but I could go in and have a copay of $25, walk in to see a doctor, get a prescription, and it was great. Well, literally a month after Obamacare passed in Washington, D.C., not only did I lose that plan through Mercy Insurance, they moved out of the state of Arkansas. They couldn't compete anymore with these new guidelines. And we saw that happen across the board with all these different insurance companies. But now we got to roll that ball back, get these insurance companies competing against each other again.
Yeah.
And we'll see these prices lower to a point where these people we're talking about on the Medicaid rolls who are able to work, but they don't have a lot of money. We sympathize for them. We want to be here for them. But that's how we answer that question.
Yeah, and that's what I asked Congressman Rick Crawford on Friday. One of the premises of my question was, hey, the main problem here, if we want to get practical, is what about this Ryan plan? What about it is going to cause premiums, at the very least, to go back to where they were? I mean, that's when we talk about undoing that, that's the one thing they could do. That, I know they're worried about getting, I think, a bloodbath or something in 2018. Just fix it. I mean, what's so hard about this? Do the right thing and don't let the insurance companies write the bill if that is happening, and do whatever you have to do to get the prices back to where they were. And I'm like you, Richard. I mean, that's a free market solution, and a lot of people are scared of free markets. Competition, they're scared of it.
No, it's true. And I'm so proud of Rick Crawford and Senator Tom Cotton for standing up and saying what they're saying right now. And I think listening to them, we should give them a lot of weight in the words they're saying, because they are not two in Washington, D.C., who are famous for standing up to the establishment, right? They're not the Rand Pauls of the world. But that they're willing right now to stick their neck on the line to say, listen, this bill isn't right. This isn't what we campaigned on. It's not what we promised. And we don't want a shellacking in the next midterm. So we need to take our time and get it done right. And I don't know why we're starting to fear this reconciliation nonsense so much. Let's stick it all together in one bill. Let's let the Democrats filibuster it. Let's wait, it'll take 24 hours for one of them to talk till they're blue in the face on the Senate floor, and let's pass it with 51 votes. You can outstand a filibuster. You just have to have the patience and the political guts to do it.
Yeah.
But
you just go and buy up all the Huggies, and eventually they're gonna.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Richard Castor, hey, I appreciate it, sir. Tell everybody where they can hear your show, The View from Hillsdale.
Absolutely. Well, everybody listening around Mountain Home on Mountain Talk 97.1, they can listen on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m., and everybody around the state can log on to mountaintalk97.com and listen audio on demand. It's a little button right there. They can click on the website and listen anytime they want to.
All righty, Richard, we appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Paul.
All righty. Hey, folks, the Liberty Machine rolls on in just a moment.